This is Aiden, and you are listening to the Cryptid Creatures podcast.
So I was laying in my bed, and I noticed this shadow of a figure of an alien. The level of fear that came up in me was indescribable. I crawled back into bed and I pulled the covers up over my head like you know, anybody would.
This is the Cryptid Creature Show. I am Brian, and with me as always my co-host Todd. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, how you doing tonight? We got a special show coming up.
Really?
We have two guests on tonight. Again.
Two?
Yeah, two for coming up. Our first guest is going to be Kristen, and Kristen had some really weird, strange, paranormal, maybe a UFO also going on.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're going to bring on Christopher, who saw Bigfoot up at Mount St. Helens.
Ooh, Mount St. Helens.
Yeah, so that sounds pretty exciting. I can't wait to hear both of them.
Nice.
All right, well, let's bring Kristen on first. What do you say?
Yep, let's get her. Kristen, how are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
You too.
Hey, Kristen. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you guys tonight?
Great.
Doing good. Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'd been talking through email, and you'd had some strange things happen to you when you were younger. You said around 10 years old. Can you tell us what state this happened in, where this happened?
Yes, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And it was actually York, Pennsylvania, to be specific.
What part of Pennsylvania is York in? Which area?
York? Yeah, York is like kind of southeast.
Okay.
Towards Jersey.
Okay.
Close to the Maryland border. So kind of, yeah.
Okay. You said you were younger when this happened, so why don't you take us into the first thing that you experienced and what happened to you?
Sure. One of the first things I remember experiencing was we lived in like a double wide home. So all the bedrooms were like on one end, kind of like a big rectangle. And there was a bathroom kind of looped in with the bedrooms as well in that little tiny area. And I remember waking up one night from my room. I had to pee, went in to use the bathroom. I did not turn the lights on because I didn't, want to blind myself in the middle of the night. And I shut the door because, of course, I have brothers and I don't want anybody seeing anything. So after I was done, I went to go back out and I could not find the door handle or the light switch. It's like they were not there. I think, I was about 10 years old again at this time. And I was moving my hands, up around the door, around the wall. The light switch was right by the door. So it was a small bathroom, didn't have to go far to find anything. Started getting really freaked out. And so I was using my arms then, like I was trying to feel all over this door and wall. And then finally that's when I started getting really, really scared. And I started calling for my mom. Luckily her room was right next door. And I feel like I had to call her forever, but I'm sure it was maybe only a minute, or so before she actually came in the bathroom. And that was one of the very first instances I remember just it like stuff was not right,
So you're feeling around this whole door area. There's no handle or light switch or anything. Handle. They're just gone. You've been in that bathroom several hundred times probably. And
Right. It wasn't like a new house, or anything like that. And muscle memory, you don't have to have a light on really in your house if you've been there because you just know where to, reach for stuff. That was pretty scary. And then, being young, I honestly don't know what I thought. I don't remember thinking like, ghost or anything like that. I just knew that I was scared and that this was not okay, whatever was going on.
So what did your mom say about it? Did you tell her?
I don't really remember. I don't, sorry?
Did you tell her, hey, there was no handle or light switch for me to grab in here? They were gone.
Yeah, I think I remember saying that I couldn't find, the door, and I don't really remember her reaction, so it must not have been anything, crazy or whatever. But she was probably half asleep and thought I was having a nightmare. I don't know. I was a little kid, like probably over exaggerating, that sort of thing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What happened next?
Yeah, there was another incident. I've had a few incidents in my life, and this was one of the worst, I would say, just because of the level of fear that I had. I was little and I had never felt that amount of fear in my life. Anyway, there was one night I was in my bedroom, same bedroom, and I had, I think I was in the bunk bed at that time. Not that that matters, but I was on the lower bunk, and I had a closet door basically almost right in front of my bed to where, you can't open it the whole way because it was a small bedroom, but you could open it enough to get in and get stuff. I also had a dresser right to the left of that closet door and a dollhouse on top of the dresser. I had a bunch of toys under the bed. The room was messy. Typical kid, I guess, you would think. And I remember being in bed, and I had a nightlight behind that dresser. So the space between, the nightlight and the dresser, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches, something like that. And definitely not wide enough to where anything, maybe other than a mouse or whatever, could squeeze behind. So I was laying in my bed, and I noticed this shadow of a figure of an alien with its arms not outstretched to the side, but kind of more down. And the legs were apart as well. And that's one of the pictures that I sent. And I was like, what the hell? The level of fear that came up in me was indescribable. Somehow I was able to, I guess my rational, my mind took over and was like, okay, it's a doll creating a shadow. It's something, so I actually got out of bed. I went under my bed and kind of like rummaged stuff around, and I'm like, there were dolls under there. So I'm confirming in my mind, okay, like, it could be a doll. And I move away and it's still there. And I'm like, okay. So last ditch effort, I went up into the dollhouse because I thought maybe I had a doll in there that somehow was projecting that. Didn't have anything in there that nothing in my room would have created that shadow, if I'm honest. And it was like the nightlight. I don't know how to explain this right, but it was like the nightlight was casting, on something that was creating that alien shape. But like I said, the nightlight is behind the dresser, so it made zero sense. I crawled back into bed and I pulled the covers up over my head like anybody would. And I didn't call out for my mom or anything. I don't know why. But yeah, I eventually fell asleep, and thank God I never saw that thing again. And it wasn't like a shadow person. I feel like shadow people are more not physical, but like a harder outline almost. Where this was, it looked like just a shadow. Like if you would, put your hand up against the wall, it just creates it was definitely darker than a normal shadow, but still not defined, I would say. Yeah.
Do you have a window in that room?
Yes.
Blinds, curtains?
Let me think. I think we have blinds throughout the house. I was a kid where I didn't have windows open at night. It freaked me out. I always thought someone, even to this day, I close the blinds or curtains or whatever, because I always feel like something, I don't know, might be trying to look into me or whatever. But just creepy. I think it's creepy, but yeah.
Well, I was just thinking if you had a window, maybe it was outside the window. If there was a light shining in, maybe it was just casting its silhouette onto your closet door.
I didn't think about
apparently, if your blinds were shut, I guess that shoots that right in the butt.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that I wouldn't have had them open.
I like to go with the theory that it was actually in your room, not to freak you out anymore.
You'd like to go with that one?
I mean, that's what I was kind of thinking. So I was already along those lines.
Sure.
You talked about an alien. You said alien shaped, and then in your picture, and
it looks like an alien. Yeah.
Are you okay if we post those on our group page when we release this episode?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like the typical quote alien body with the big head, more like kind of egg shaped, and then the skinnier body and lankier kind of appendages.
Right.
Was it moving at all, or just standing?
No, completely still. Thank God. I think if it would have moved, I might have screamed. Yeah.
It's hard to say. You never know. A lot of people have seen a lot of apparitions, black shadows in their home. We've been getting that more and more lately, actually.
Oh, yay. I was going to say, I've never heard anyone talk of like an alien shadow person or shadow man. So I was curious, if you guys ever heard anything about it, or if maybe viewers have, I don't know, but I don't know. I never have, and I'm a geek about paranormal stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I think we have a few episodes with shadow people in them.
Yes, I cannot remember the name of them, but I'll try to find them and can send them to you.
Yeah, but like an alien one though.
Oh yeah, there's alien ones too.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Just start. I guess if it doesn't say Bigfoot or Dogman in the title, it could be an alien or paranormal related thing, but you never know.
Nice.
I'll try to find some good ones and send them to you. I know there's some shadow ones and UFOs, so I think
that'd be awesome.
I think we've actually got one of each that we haven't edited or released yet. We're just kind of waiting in the wings on it. So yeah, just recently. Good deal. So you're not alone. Okay. Don't worry.
Good.
You're not crazy just seeing stuff.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, we get feedback too. So when people hear the episode, if they've had the same kind of encounter, they let us know.
So. Right. Good. I hope so. I'm curious to hear for sure.
Did anything else happen in that home?
Nothing else that I would say is noteworthy, really. There were times that I thought I saw shadow type stuff, but it was more out of the corner of your eye. It definitely wasn't, just there on the wall like the one. Trying to think. Oh, the lights went off.
I just saw that.
I'm pet sitting.
That was strange.
I know you're talking about them. See,
they just dimmed out.
One sec.
Well, now that they're on to us, maybe they'll come down.
Okay, right.
They followed you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys move into that home, or did your parents build that home, or did you move into it already? Someone had already moved.
Yeah, we did have like a 2-story, and I was there, I think, born until 7 years old. And then that's when we moved in that home, the modular home.
Okay.
I always felt creepy in that house too when I was little. I don't ever remember anything specific happening, but that could have just been me as a little kid being creeped out by a big house, So, I wouldn't say that anything happened there. And the modular house, those were the main ones for sure that were the most scary. Yeah.
So you also said that you had some other things going on.
Yeah.
What else happened to you?
I had lived in a house in Illinois, Southern Illinois. I cannot remember the name. I've lived all over, by the way. So don't mind me skipping around states.
Good for you.
But yeah, thanks. Southern Illinois. Lived on a property with my boyfriend, and his family had 40 acres, and kind of the whole family just lived on the 40 acres. It was kind of cool, but so I was out there. It wasn't that long, maybe 6 months or so. Anyway, the boyfriend and I had lived on a house in the property, and this was like another trailer type situation. It was kind of one that was like a spare house, you could say, before you get your real house. So we were living in there, and his brother had died in there I think it was within like a few years or so. So I don't know if he was active in that house, but it seemed like my boyfriend at the time thought it was kind of along those lines. So one night he was out, and it was evening, and I was just making dinner. I had a microwave in front of me, just popped something in the microwave. I reached up to open a cupboard and pull out a glass to get a drink, and there were 3 collectible shot glasses on top of the microwave. And the one on the very right flew and hit the wall and shattered. And the wall was maybe a foot from the microwave. So it wasn't like it had a lot of, like throwing it across the room or whatever. And I was like, what the heck? So I got pretty scared. Called his mom, and his mom came over, and she was an absolute sweetheart to me. But yeah, that was not right. And of course, everyone was like, oh, it was probably a mouse that came up. It was, something knocked against, something happened. Now, like I said, the microwave was on. So I don't know, trying to rationalize again, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I've never had that happen ever again in my life, where a shot glass just shatters itself against the wall. And there were 3 of them. So, and why just that one? I don't know. That was one time. There were many nights where we heard a tapping in the bathroom. It was a master bedroom that had like a bathroom in it. And we would hear, it was always like this kind of, I don't know if you can hear, but like actual tapping on a counter, that sort of sound. That was pretty tame, still creepy, but tame. And there was one night, it was New Year's Eve, and he was out and I was at home, and I was getting ready for bed. I think it was before midnight. But I just wanted to get into bed and go to sleep. And I heard, it sounded like a gunshot right above my head. Like someone had pulled the trigger to a gun right above my head. And
how did his brother die?
He OD'd, unfortunately, in the house. So I don't know what actual, I don't remember what actual, substance. But I do remember it was like an OD type of situation.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I know.
Not in the bedroom that you were in, right?
No. It was they found him in the living room, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, his spirit could definitely be hanging out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been cool if he would have been a little more playful, or not so.
Well, I'm sure he didn't want to die, so I'd be pretty pissed off if I was dead, and if I died like that, my ghost wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
not sure if people realize how strong a shot glass is, but they're not just flimsy little mini glasses. They're pretty thick, and if you dropped one, say on a kitchen floor, wood or linoleum, it might not even break. I bet you half the time it probably won't break. If it
probably just bounce.
So to travel 2 feet, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
like max. I mean, I'd say max 2 feet. Yeah.
Especially those collector ones. Those collector ones are really heavy.
Yeah, they make those nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to hit a wall and just shatter, that's not.
Yeah, that was some force.
That's not natural.
Force. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was creepy. His mom's like, we need to sage the house, and I was totally okay with whatever, So we did sage the house. I think that was before I left, so I don't really remember a lot after that point. But yeah. And the gunshot one was just yikes, and then kind of being out on 40 acres, like, that's kind of scary. But
well, that would be something that you would need to investigate the property for. I'm sure maybe there could have been a lot of stuff happened there years ago, like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you never know what kind of paranormal activity is going on old property. Yeah. That's what I tell everybody. Always, if you're living on a big plot of land, investigate the land, see if you can get some history on it.
Yeah, it would have been super cool to know, what had gone on out there, for sure.
Well, in that area of Pennsylvania, I'm assuming there were a lot of battles fought.
No, that was in Illinois, right?
Illinois.
Oh, that was
this
Illinois.
house.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
But still, I don't. Yeah, I don't know offhand of anything.
Yeah, that could still be a lot of stuff. Southern? Was it down in Southern Illinois?
It was southern. It was pretty southern. From what I can remember, maybe like an hour from Kentucky, maybe. About that. So, yeah, pretty south.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was his brother still hanging around. When the mom wanted to sage the house, did she assume that it was her son's spirit still hanging around, or what?
I don't know. And she was very sweet to me, but I didn't know her on that level really yet to, like bring that up. I didn't feel comfortable anyway, so she may have. I'm not sure though.
So you had some more stuff going on. You saw a couple weird things. Why don't you?
I have lived in houses where nothing has happened. I do want to put that out there.
Okay. So you're not the common denominator. That's good.
No, I don't think. I hope not. I don't want to be, that, but hopefully not. In Pennsylvania, though, I did see a UFO, and my little brother was present. We saw two, actually. And that was in York, Pennsylvania. This would have been, I think it was 1996 or 97. So I was outside. It was summertime, dark. I was waiting for my friends to pick me up. And my little brother was waiting beside me. And so we're just looking up into the sky. I don't know what direction offhand, that would have been. but it was more above York City, or the town, the city and the town. And there were two big, or I'd say medium-size-ish. And I'm really bad with like distance and stuff, so I could not tell you how high these things were. Maybe like helicopter, or higher than helicopter, but not like plane high, if that makes sense. But there were two orange orbs, and they both were coming at each other, and they stopped right before they hit each other. And then the one on the right it was the strangest thing. It went like this, and then it took off, and then the other one took off in the opposite direction. And I thought that was pretty cool because I think I mentioned, I was always kind of into paranormal stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, that was a UFO. And my poor little brother, I was 16 or 17, so he would have been like 9, and he's like, what's that? And I'm like, that's a plane. Like, I tried to totally convince him that it was planes that were doing something, just not to scare him. But that was definitely not normal or natural, but pretty cool to witness.
Yeah, I was looking at York there on the map. You guys are just south of the Appalachian Mountains there, just at the foothills, basically.
Man, Pennsylvania's got weird stuff going on there.
Well, most of it's in the Appalachian Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, super cool, super creepy.
Did you ever get out in the mountains when you lived there? Did you ever?
No, unfortunately. I remember a couple times being pretty little, and my mom had friends that had a cabin or something, and I remember going out there a couple of times, but nothing ever happened that I can remember out there. It was very infrequent. It was like a once every maybe a few years thing. So yeah. Unfortunately, no.
So back to the black alien shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think it was an alien? I mean, if you had to specify, make a decision one or the other, do you think it was some alien there looking over you, or what do you think he was doing? I mean,
that I don't know. That I have no clue. If he was just trying to scare me or, get fear out of me or something, he succeeded for sure. I kind of feel in my gut that it was alien-ish. I don't know if that's just because of the shape, but I feel like an alien was creating that sort of scenario,
In your picture, it appears that it's basically the height of the door frame almost. Was it fairly tall?
Yeah, I remember it being that tall. I remember it being, I don't think it was to the top of the closet door, but it was almost. It almost hit it, yeah.
Is that what got you into the paranormal then, when that happened?
No, I was into it actually. There were some books that I had read from the library around that age, or not, maybe like very, very slightly younger than that, about like Bigfoot, that sort of thing. So from there, I kind of expanded out, and yeah. So at that time, I was interested in that sort of stuff, which might have been an invitation for them in a way to say, oh, hi.
Could be. I mean, could be that you're more open to it than most.
Right.
So.
Right.
I tell you what, as much as I've been reading and investigating and been into Bigfoot and everything since I was a kid, I should have about 2 or 3 invitations by now. I mean, maybe I should be careful what I say, right?
Yeah, careful what you wish for.
Oh, that's true. That's what they say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it was great having you on and talking with us, Kristen. It was our pleasure.
Where are you at now, Kristen? Where do you live now?
I am in Gogabic County, Michigan. So Michigan Dogman, my favorite cryptid.
Gogabic
I don't want to see him.
I haven't heard of that county before.
Yeah, where's that one at?
So it's Upper Peninsula, and it's the very western.
Oh, you're
right
in the UP.
Wow, you're in the boondocks.
Lucky.
Yes.
So yeah, you could very well see a Dogman up there.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I might be calling you guys back. I don't know.
You need to stay in touch. Yeah, let us know.
I hope so. I hope you see one, but you're safe. I hope you're in your car or something like that.
Be safe.
Oh,
yeah.
Same.
Wow. Well, that's great.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on, and been a lot of fun talking to you about your experiences.
Yeah. Thanks.
And please stay in touch. I mean, especially since you're in the UP.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let us know if something goes on.
That's not that far of a drive for us, so we can be up there and split if you see something.
Yeah.
Okay. I will definitely be in contact if anything comes up for sure.
Okay.
All right, Kristen. You take care now.
All right. Take care. Bye.
All right. It was cool having Kristen on and talking about those creepy things that she's seen and encountered and shadows.
Yeah, no kidding.
So hopefully she stays clear of that and cannot have to be harassed anymore the rest of her life. But it was great having her on.
It was.
Thanks for being here, Kristen. All right, next we're going to bring up Christopher, who had a Bigfoot encounter there, like we said, in near Mount St. Helens. So you're ready to bring Christopher on?
Yep, let's get him. Christopher, how you doing?
Hey, Christopher.
I couldn't get connected, but I'm here.
We got you.
That's
now,
right. You're
buddy.
on now, so that's all that matters.
Good.
Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we know you had a Bigfoot encounter, right, Christopher?
Yes.
What state did this happen in?
In Washington State.
Okay. What part of Washington State?
By Mount St. Helens, or on Mount St. Helens, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Nice.
And how old were you when this happened?
Let's see. Probably like 65.
Okay.
I'm 72 now, so it's just like I'm not exactly sure what year it was. And I tried to look up some things I'd written down and I couldn't find them. So anyway, about that.
All right, gotcha. So not real long ago.
Not that long ago.
Nope.
All right. Good. Well, why don't you tell us your encounter and tell us what you're doing and what happened to you?
Okay. It started. My husband was Native American, and every year they would have their Vision Quest ceremony, and I would go as a supporter. And this year we needed to have somebody run up and down the mountain to pick up people in the city that couldn't get their cars or didn't have rides or something. And so for 2 or 3 mornings, I would go real early and go down to Portland, pick up people and come back up the mountain. And the first morning that I was leaving, it was probably like, I don't know, 7:38 in the morning or something like that. And it's an old logging road, really teeny little road. And I just turned around this one corner and I thought I saw like the butt of an elk or something. I couldn't quite figure it out because I was not at all in the mindset for this. Looked like an elk maybe, but there's no head up here or anything. So I thought there's a little creek right there. So I thought I was just bending over, getting a drink in the creek. And so I pulled around the corner a little closer and then he stood up. I'm assuming because I didn't see anything female. He stood up and looked at me and he had like a rabbit or something in his hands and he was washing it off in the creek. And he just looked at me and I immediately, stopped my truck and just was staring back at him. And he just kind of kept looking at me in this really strange look. Like it didn't scare me. I was in my truck, that helped, but I wasn't scared of him or anything. It was just kind of just like, leave me alone. I'm doing something. And so I just sat there and watched the back of him for about probably seemed like a long time, but probably like 15 seconds. And I wanted to go a little bit closer. So I just crept up a little closer and I hit like a log or something and made all this noise. And he just turned around, looked at me, grabbed his rabbit and split. So that's what it was. And it took me a long time to even talk about it. Later, when I came up that night, there was some elder natives there. And I asked them if anybody had ever seen anything like a Bigfoot. And they said, oh, yeah, definitely. And later that night, real late, we heard this screaming sound, just like really frightening sounds. And in the morning, I asked, what was that sound? And one of the elders said it was 2 Bigfoots attacking an animal. And they scream at this just horrendous pitch. It was really frightening and scary. And it gets the animal confused, and they come around both sides of it and kill it. So we heard that whole thing going on. He said, yeah, we heard a Bigfoot last night. And I went, what? And I didn't say that I had seen one the day before, because I just didn't, I don't know, I was nervous and I was scared about the whole story. But anyway, I decided it was time to sort of come out as a Bigfoot seer. So there I am.
Did you tell your husband that you saw him?
Yeah. I did, but I didn't tell him the first night because he was in a ceremony, a Vision Quest ceremony. So I didn't bother him because he's off in the woods, by himself. But when we were coming back down the mountain after the ceremony was over, I told him, he goes, yeah, we heard him, blah, blah, blah. Everybody felt comfortable with what they were doing. So it was really interesting. A couple people came in off the mountain because it scared them. And, but most other people were just like, wasn't after me. I don't know. It was really strange, different reactions. But Michaels was really glad to hear that I saw one, because he said that he had heard him before on another Vision Quest thing when I wasn't there. And he said, yeah, I knew what it was. And he stayed. So anyway, I told him. A couple other people too, I told, but not very many.
So he wasn't very surprised. I mean, he totally believed it when you told him. Oh,
yeah, completely. He thought it was great that I did, because he had only heard him for several years in a row, but he had never seen one. So everybody said, what did it look like? What did it look like? And it looks a lot like the pictures that I'd see, except for it didn't look monkeyish, like they try to give that big mouth thingy like a monkey would have or something. It didn't have that at all. It was more, a little more humanistic looking, actually, and kind of brownish red hair too, not black, that I see in a lot of the drawings and stuff. And it was big. If I would have been in my truck, I probably would have been freaked a little bit. But I just kept staring at it, just going, what is that? It took me a while. And even driving the rest of the way down the mountain to go pick up these people, I was like, did I really see that? It was really interesting concept for my mind. I didn't expect it. Wasn't thinking about it at all. But there it was.
Well, yeah, that's one of the last things you expect to see when you're just driving down the road.
Yeah, it wasn't on my mind at all. It was really interesting.
Right.
Did you grow up in Washington State?
I did through 8th grade and then moved to Oregon, to Portland.
Okay.
With my family.
So being in that area, did you believe in Bigfoot before you actually saw this one?
I just thought there were so many people, talked about him and had seen them and stuff. I figured that it did exist, but I didn't really pursue it and trying to find out much about him, really. I just knew that, there's so many things possible out there in the world that we don't even know at all. And I figured that it was real. I didn't expect to ever see one.
Can you describe more of its face at all?
Yeah, kind of. Okay, the drawing that you use on your ad thing is very similar, but his nose wasn't way out to here. It was a little bit narrower. But the way that you have a more humanistic mouth on yours, as opposed to the way some people draw and stuff, it's very similar.
Okay.
To your drawing.
Well,
that helps.
I'd be a little terrified in a truck, I think, let alone. How far away was he, do you think, from you?
Oh, real close, because you come around this corner, he was right by this little creek, had a waterfall right there. 20 feet, maybe even a little closer. Yeah, it wasn't far. And I wasn't frightened because he didn't give out the energy like that at all. I mean, he just was looking at me, and I was looking at him. And he went back to finish up his little rinsing off these rabbits or whatever he was doing. And then I scared him when I tried to move the truck, and then he grabbed everything and kind of just got out of there quick. But it didn't feel frightening. It didn't feel like he was going to growl at me or scare me or anything like that. It was just like, I'm busy, leave me alone.
Yeah, he was
really
probably just as surprised as you.
Oh, definitely was. Definitely was.
What time of day was it?
Early morning, probably like 7:38 or something in the morning.
Rolled up on him as he's having breakfast.
Yeah, I guess so. Could have been. Because he was definitely washing this animal off, trying to get ready to eat it or something.
Probably.
It was interesting.
So how far away from where you live did this happen?
It's about, let me see. It's not that far, like 3 hours on the freeway to get to the little towns that you go off into the mountains. Probably like 3 hours probably.
Okay.
Away. So what would that be? 120 miles maybe?
Yeah, it's funny when you're out there in that area and you look on a map and say you want to go up a certain area up the mountain, or you have to take the back roads to go somewhere, and you're used to seeing it. Oh, that looks like it's about an hour away, when it really ends up being 2.5, 3 hours because of the driving terrain that you have to do. You don't realize if you don't live there.
Yeah, the roads are.
It's like, why does it take so long to get there?
Yeah, it was a really unkept old logging road until just recently. Enough people have been going up there for fishing and different events and different things going on up in there that they started sort of maintaining it again, but it was still pretty scary road. I did it during the day too when I had to go pick up people, because at nighttime driving up there is just crazy. I've done that before too, but now I want to go in the morning.
This makes you feel weird or scary or what?
It's a little scary just because you don't know where. Sometimes you come around a corner and where the road was is now washed out. There might be a new little creek running across the road or something, and it took a big chunk of it out, because it's just gravel on mud, basically, what the road's made out of. And so I just always wanted to know that, I was going to get there safe.
Yeah, a lot of time the Forest Service roads, they get rutted out. They don't maintain them very well, and you can't go real fast on them, even if they're not real rocky. You can't drive super fast on them because there's so many ruts and potholes or whatever. Sure. You tear your vehicle up.
I've been up there many times. It's like, I know, go slow.
It makes me wonder if that's why the Bigfoot were in the area, because you said that there wasn't been that much activity on that road for a while.
Right. I think it must have been because he was really right on the road too. Obviously, I could see him right there. I think that it must have been a pretty comfortable area for them, and then they could get along the road too. I'm sure you like going along the road instead of going up to the hills, but I don't know. And it was a logged area at one point, so it was pretty just flat, and then some new trees had come up. When the mountain erupted, we lost a whole section of that area, and they were just replanting themselves, whatever, and just cutting up new trees.
So have you been back to that area recently?
I haven't. My husband, we were together for 31 years, and a year and a half ago he passed. So I haven't
sorry to hear that.
Been back up there since. Yeah, that was been a whole life changer, I'll tell you. And he kept telling me, get a hold of somebody, tell him your story, please, please, please. And I said, I will. But he just was a priority for me. I didn't think about it.
Sure.
And then I saw you guys, and I went, oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be doing something about that. So I thought, I'm gonna get a hold of them.
We're glad you did. We appreciate you getting a hold of us.
We're glad you chose us.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you feel comfortable talking to us and hanging out here. I mean, this is fun talking to you and hearing about it.
Yeah, I definitely do. I feel very comfortable.
Would you like to see another one?
Sure. Would I like to see another one? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wasn't scared for this one anyway, and I would definitely see another one if I could. I just don't know how or when.
Well, you're in the right spot.
Yeah. I have to go up that road again, though.
Or another one, other road.
Or anywhere around Mount St. Helen is a place.
Yeah, I never knew that much about them to know if that was an area that they were. When I talked to the elders, native people, they said, oh, yeah, this is a spot. I said, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know about it.
So were you around when Mount St. Helens blew then?
Oh, yeah. I was in an airplane above the mountain.
Really?
What?
It's really true. It's really true. I was flying from Seattle to Portland, and they said, you have something going on with the mountain, blah, 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 blah. And then you could see it like out the side windows, it just starting to go up, and we landed just before it all landed in Portland. And because then the airport was closed for a long time. But yeah, I just barely made it.
Wow.
Yeah, you got real lucky.
You got the bird's eye view there.
Yeah, it was a trip, and we saw it too. We saw it just blowing up. And it took a while for the ash stuff to come down. But by the time we even got pulled into the airport, we landed safe and everything. But by the time we got to our little spot to park, whatever we call that, it was just starting to like snow. It was so bizarre, this ash coming all over the place, and then it just covered everything.
Oh, wow.
They had to close the airports and everything else. We were lucky to get home in the car.
Yeah, I can imagine driving in it, what it would have been like.
Yeah, there wasn't enough yet. It was just starting. But so when it blew up, it must have gone way up there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard the stories, but there was a lot of Bigfoot creatures supposedly killed in that, and the U.S. National Guard went in and helped remove the remains. And
really?
Yeah.
Why do they not want us to know about it? I mean, obviously, they didn't publicize it or anything.
I don't know. Why do you think the government keeps it a secret? Do you think they keep it a secret? And if so, why do you think they would?
I really don't know. I'm baffled by the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know why they would think it'd be maybe because the land prices would go down. I don't know. People would be scared of the mountain. I don't know what it would be. Some kind of tourist thing.
I think it has a lot to do with the logging industry and the tourist industry and maybe land. Yeah.
But just to be able to see and prove something like that, why would you not want people to know? I don't get that part. You know?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it has anything has to do with the mysterious, the magical side of the Bigfoot. People talk about what they call the woo. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or you're into that, but you know, they talk about how they might be able to transform into light forms or different energies and move in and out of portals and weird things like that. Have you heard of any of that before?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, I think there's all kinds of, I'm not going to say that doesn't exist because I didn't know this existed. Everything's possible in my head. You know, there's all kinds of spiritual things that people have told me that they've experienced that I would have said, oh, yeah, right. You know, except for they trust these people and stuff. So, I don't know. Possibilities are amazing. And we don't know all about our own minds and our own spirituality and stuff, our spirits and our different things in there. There's a lot going on we don't know about.
Even on this planet, there's so much we don't know about still. So
yeah, for sure. That's why it took me a while to come out with telling people that I saw one, because I would just starting to tell people a little bit, and it was like, oh yeah, what are you trying to get out of this? You want to be part of a really cool group of people, you know, or something? I don't know. I got lots of crap, and so I just kind of like let it go for a while, and then I thought I need to tell people.
We're not a really cool group of people.
Pardon?
We're not a really cool group of people.
Well, I think that you probably are. In the coolest meaning of the word.
Actually, yeah, the Bigfoot community is great. I mean, there's a lot of good people.
There's a lot of really good people. Yeah.
And understanding. And I don't know if you're into any of the Facebook groups on there, but there's a lot of good groups out there that are very supportive and, you know, help people out.
Yeah, I put it on Sasquatch Highway, the first story.
Yeah.
And there were a couple guys that already jumped on it. What do you mean you drove on the back roads? There's no back road all the way from Portland to, you know, Mount St. Helens. It's like they try to pick just stupid little things. And a couple of people came in and said, get off of here. What are you doing? You know, pay attention to what he said. Right. It's like so bizarre.
Yeah.
I thought, why would anybody even want to do that?
You have those.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of trolls too. Yeah. So.
You can come join our group. We don't have people like that on our group.
No, we don't keep them around.
Just look up cryptid creatures and come join. And
okay, I will, because it is really it's great. So getting support, doing this, I thought, good, somebody believes me. You know,
of course,
they want to find out my story. So
absolutely,
that was good.
Well, especially right around where you saw it. I mean, Mount St. Helens, that's a hot spot. That's a huge area.
Yeah, I never knew that till recently. I started looking into it a little bit. You know what's going on in there. Yeah, it's a good one. You know, people would probably just have just as good an opportunity to have an encounter just driving around the back roads and the Forest Service roads of Oregon and Washington. They don't have to get out of their vehicle, and you're probably going to run into one like you did. Those are the most common sightings out there. Sometimes people go way out and trek way out for days and you know, way out in the middle of nowhere and don't see anything. But then driving a few miles from town and then, wow, there's one right there. Yeah, it still blows my mind, I tell you. But I saw it long enough to know that it was for real. Do you think they're kind of like a tribe of people or something like that? Do you think that they're just like more like an ape running around in the woods? What do you think? Well, I'm not sure, but I think that the whole evolutionary thing, you know, like we were once apes, they say, whatever, you know. I mean, I believe that we developed into what we are, and they developed into what they are, and they may be part of our development in a different state, you know. I don't know. But it seemed to me pretty darn humanistic for an animal just to be an animal. I don't know. So I'm not sure what they are. if they're separate from us or if they're part of us.
Well, you talk about evolution and people try to understand it, and why would there still be, well, if we evolved from them, why would there still be there? But you got to think about it in a way. It's all about your environment. If Bigfoot creatures became, or whatever we became from, cavemen, whatever, we had to come out of the caves and we had to come out of the woods and get out in the open and out on the flatlands and out in the sun or whatever, and start using tools and farming and all that stuff. Whereas there's maybe these creatures, these beings, decided not to go that route. They knew they could stay in the woods, they could hunt deer, kill and eat with their hands. They didn't need to get any further than they did. They didn't need technology. They didn't need any of that. And because of that, they stayed the way they were, these hairy, tall beings, maybe. Who knows? I mean, throw a dog against a wall and see where it sticks.
Yeah, I know. But somehow I think that we are related somehow. I think that there's a connection there. I don't know if it's exactly what we all came from or whatever. And I know a lot of people that believe in the Bible would say that that's not right. But we don't know what the people that God put on this planet look like when they started.
You're right. You're right.
So
we don't.
That is true.
And I've said this before. There's everything on this earth that we know of, from a tiny little microscopic insect all the way up to a blue whale. And there's all kinds of things that have 2 arms and 2 legs. Why couldn't there be a Bigfoot creature out there walking around?
Yeah,
I'd be more surprised there wouldn't be something like that walking around than there would be, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Look at the ocean. There's stuff in the ocean we're never going to know about, probably. I mean,
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's an amazing place. I was just looking at some pictures of the ocean. It was a mind blow. These animals that light up and all kinds of stuff that were just like, wow.
And there's parts of the ocean we can't even get to.
Yeah.
Yet. We don't have the technology, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Who knows what's down there?
What would you say to somebody, Christopher, if they said Bigfoot's not real, there's no way it's real, it's impossible that it's real? What would you say? Not an argumentative way, just knowing what you know. What would you say?
I would just say that your experience, that's probably true for you, but my experience is different. And I saw one. So, that's when the conversation changes really bizarrely. Sometimes they want to jump on me and go, yeah. Some people have listened. I don't know if I changed their lives, but they did listen to my story and they weren't like real defensive when I was done. But I would just tell them what happened.
So you think he was?
Well, I mean, they can believe it or they can not believe it. So
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, and there definitely have been some that didn't, and there have been some that have, I think. So, I mean, I know people that know me, they totally do believe me because I'm not a liar, and everybody knows that, I mean, I'm a very honest and open person, and that's why my friends appreciate me, my family appreciates me too. And so telling that story, they were just like, wow, really? They wanted to know more details and what it looked like. And I'm an artist, and they keep saying, why haven't you done a drawing or painting of it yet? And I thought, I don't know. Maybe I will. Because his face is still in my head, I tell you.
Yeah. Why don't you do that and send it to us?
Yes, please do that. If anything, do it for us, Christopher. We want to see it.
Okay. I will.
Now you have a reason. We want to see
this.
That'd
be awesome. I'd love to see that.
It's true.
We'll post it on our group page and everything for you if you want to. Anything you want to draw a bunch of different cryptid stuff and send it to us if you're an artist. I want to see some of your work.
Okay. If they all start looking like me, maybe I need to get out a little more.
That's all right. Did you say you were 72, by the way? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You don't look 72, man.
You don't.
I would never guessed you for that. No way.
I was 72.
You must have lived a good life.
Pretty good. My mother's 92.
My goodness.
And
awesome.
My dad passed a few years ago, but my mom is just doing great.
Wow, you have some good genes.
I have some of her genes, yeah.
Yeah.
And my brother and sister are all good and stuff. So, yeah, if I'm not looking at a picture of me like on this video thing or in a mirror or something like that, I don't think and I don't feel old. I mean, I feel like I'm like 40 or something, 30.
Good.
And then when I pass the mirror and go, oh my, you're getting old man.
Who's that guy?
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah,
I'm fine
we all
with being
do that,
old too.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, we just turned 53, so that's tough.
Well, being gay and being part of the whole AIDS thing when it first started happening, probably, I mean, I had a lot of really, really good friends, and being a musician, and I would tour and come perform in all these cities and stuff. And I would say probably 90% of those people are gone. So being 72 and being gay is like a huge thing.
Right.
Because so many of us didn't get to make it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when you were young like that, right in the middle of like you said, right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and I lived in San Francisco then too.
Oh.
Everywhere. It was everywhere. I didn't know.
What kind of music did you play?
Kind of different styles. I played piano, and I was really influenced a lot by sort of 50s, 60s girl group rock stuff, you know?
Yeah.
My first recording was in 1978 on Folkways Records, and it's now I'm in the Smithsonian.
Oh, wow.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that just happened a few years back. Yeah, Smithsonian thought that Folkways was incredible, and the album that I'm on, it was a compilation album of 10 songs, supposed to be by 10 different people, but 2 of them are mine.
Okay.
One about coming out as, you know, my whole childhood being raised and stuff, and how I came out, and it's a funny song. Mm-hmm. And I write a lot of funny stuff too.
Awesome. Well, didn't know we had an artist on the show too, Brian.
Yeah, no kidding. It's awesome.
Yeah, you can look me up in the Smithsonian Folkways.
Maybe we will. We'll check it out.
We will.
It was a pleasure having you on here, Christopher, with us.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are great to talk to. Very easy.
Thank you. I'm glad you felt that way, and I know you were kind of hesitant to come on at first, but I'm glad you did, and I hope you feel better.
Yeah, me too. That was a good story.
I do. I feel good about this.
Awesome. All right. Well,
anytime things are going to open up, I'm going to talk more.
Yeah, definitely. And reach out to us and get on our group page and
stay in touch.
Yeah, reach out to us, man.
Okay, I will.
We'd like to see a drawing if you get it. So.
I'm thinking about that one.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see your yeah. I'd like to see it on paper. See what you saw. So
okay, there's I'll show you so you know I'm an artist. Right over here, do you see the black and white painting on the floor right there? I can't tell if it's on.
Yeah,
that's my husband.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
I did that for his celebration of life.
Okay,
and then there's a great big one right back there. See that one?
Awesome.
Anyway,
cool, man.
So I've never done portraits before, and I started doing portraits, and so it all makes sense that I would do this portrait.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Well, if you have time,
thank you.
Get one down and send it to us. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm going to. It might be a little while, so
no problem, man. Take your time. Yeah. Holidays are coming. You know it's busy, so don't worry about it. When we get time, when you feel the urge, we'll wait for you. We'll be here.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we ain't going nowhere.
Thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah, man. Thank you again. We appreciate it. You take care.
Thank you.
We'll see you, bud.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Christopher. Take it easy.
See you.
Okay, bye.
All right, it was great having both those guys on. I really like Christopher's encounter, you know.
Yeah, that was talk about a close encounter.
I know, and like we said, it's always, seems to be when you're driving around or
you least expected, driving down the back roads. Pretty cool though.
Yeah, it was really cool, and glad we got them both on, and it was cool having two people on again. So we'll try to do that more often when we can, and we have more guests lined up. So all right, listeners, thanks again. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Be sure to check out our website. You can get extra episodes if you become a member. We have our Patreon out there. You can get all kinds of cool stuff there. You can be a guest co-host.
Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Do that too, please. The Cryptid and Paranormal Network is what we're calling that now. So we appreciate that, you guys. Brian, I appreciate you as always, my friend. It was a great time.
Always fun, brother. Always learning.
All right, what do you say we get out of here?
See ya.